2025 hit Maynooth like a makeover show nobody asked for, but everybody secretly wanted. Mill Street got more upgrades than my phone gets in a decade. There's a new footbridge near Manor Mills that screams, "Look at us being modern!" And the cycling route is now smoother than the excuses people make for not cycling. It's so fancy, I feel guilty showing up with my rusty old bike. I thought I'd make a quick video about some of the changes coming next. In 2026, Maynooth is getting a new road on the eastern side of the town. Clearly, we're feeling ambitious. It'll connect the Maynooth Leixlip Road to the Maynooth Selbridge Road. That's the R148 and the R405 for anyone who actually keeps track of road numbers. And yes, we're getting traffic light junctions at both ends. Because what's progress without a few more places to pause and reflect on life? Let's take a look. The new 1.2 kilometre road will even come with its own bridge over the Royal Canal and the train line. Because apparently Maynooth is collecting bridges now. It's wild to think that up until the mid-1990s, Maynooth Main Street was actually part of the main road between Dublin and the west of Ireland. A bypass was promised, and eventually the M4 motorway arrived. People were convinced motorways would kill towns, but instead the opposite happened. Once the endless through traffic disappeared, people actually wanted to come here to shop, eat, drink, and generally enjoy a town that wasn't shaking from lorries every 5 minutes. But now the M4 is jammed most mornings and evenings. Traffic isn't caused by too many people, it's caused by too many cars. Ireland now has 2.4 million private cars. That's up 450,000 in just the last 10 years. And here we are again. Maynooth Main Street is full of traffic. So maybe this new Eastern Ring Road will help calm things down a bit. Maybe. But here's the problem. When you make driving easier, more people drive. Traffic engineers call it induced demand. Adding more roads is like loosening your belt to cure obesity. Cars that avoided Maynooth before might now happily use the new road. So it's entirely possible the ring roads could make things worse unless we actually restrict traffic on Main Street. On a positive note, the new road includes cycle lanes, but no bus lanes. But at least we're trying. One side has Maynooth's first bi-directional cycle lane, and the other has a shared lane. You can even access the road from the Canal Greenway. These new active travel lanes will make it easier for people in places like Griffinrath or Carton Wood to reach the Greenway, or get to school without needing a car. And we know children who walk or cycle to school perform better at tasks requiring concentration. So it's not just good for traffic, it's good for brains. For a university town, Maynooth's cycling rate is, well, let's call it adorably pathetic. Is it the cold? Oslo and Montreal cycle more, and they're basically human ice pops half the year. The wind? Copenhagen and Amsterdam cycle through storms that would send us straight to bed with a hot water bottle. Is it the rain? Cambridge in England is just as damp and still cycles 28% of all trips, while we're over here celebrating our mighty 2%. Maybe the English really do handle the rain better than us, which is embarrassing considered we allegedly have 99 words for it. So what can we learn from the great cycling cities of the world like Utrecht, Amsterdam, Cambridge? Well, we know that higher cycling rates mean less congestion and more parking for those who genuinely need to drive. Galway is now the 7th most congested city in Europe, and with Maynooth potentially reaching Galway's size by 2050, we should probably pay attention. Galway built estates assuming everyone would drive. More houses meant more cars, and eventually gridlock. Retrofitting bus lanes and cycle lanes after the fact is extremely difficult. Maynooth still has time to avoid that mistake. We need permeability between estates and the Greenway. A few decades ago, Ireland built motorways across the country. Now we seem to struggle to open a gap in a wall so children and older people can walk through. I think the reason people don't cycle much in Maynooth is because it doesn't feel safe. Look at the western side of the town. The footpaths are barely wide enough for one person, never mind a wheelchair or mobility scooter. This forces people into cars. Successful cycling towns give people a choice. We don't. Traffic gets bad because we've built a town that makes us car dependent. Yes, some people need to drive, obviously, but not everyone needs to drive every time. And people with disabilities don't all drive either. Those living outside town often have no choice because rural Ireland has few buses and 0 bike lanes. If more people inside the town walked or cycled, it would free up space for those who must drive. A new residential development is planned beside the new road. 954 homes and 888 parking spaces. Many of those cars will want to reach the train station or GAA training. The station is already full by 7 a.m. Without good walking and cycling options, it'll become full by 6 a.m, pushing more people into cars. Parklands residents will get a new pedestrian link to the new shops, cafe, creche and sports facilities that are part of the new development. The new road will also give them easier access to the Selbridge Road schools. Also in Maynooth, 2026 could see a planning application for Moygaddy. The first phase alone could have around 1,000 parking spaces. Students renting rooms in these new estates will need a safe way to get to college. Are we going to make them buy cars and drive to college every day? Or can we give them a safe, separated cycling route? Cambridge University doesn't allow students to drive to college, and full-time students are required to live in Cambridge in order to obtain a degree. Will we ever have enough accommodation in Maynooth for our university? If we want new residents in Maynooth to leave the car at home, we need world-class cycling infrastructure and secure bike parking. Cargo bikes cost a fraction of an SUV, and cycling infrastructure costs a fraction of car infrastructure. In Denmark, the standard is that a 9-year-old should be able to cycle safely to school on their own. Could we achieve that in Maynooth? Half of all car trips in Maynooth are under 5 kilometres. That's cycling distance for most people. Long term, Maynooth has plans for a complete set of ring roads all the way around the town. Kildare County Council has floated the idea of removing private cars from Main Street once the ring roads are complete. I think this is a great idea. Buses, emergency vehicles and deliveries would still get through, of course, but the street would finally become a safe, pleasant place to walk and cycle. It would help buses stop getting stuck in traffic and give the town centre a more village-like atmosphere. And you can still reach everywhere in Maynooth by car using the ring roads. Now the big question. Will policymakers actually be brave enough to follow through and pedestrianise Maynooth Main Street? Or will they panic the moment someone posts an angry Facebook comment? The Mill Street cycle lane upgrade gives me hope. Cautious, fragile hope that a full cycling network might appear one day. So what do you think? With half of all car trips under 5 kilometres, can towns like Maynooth solve their traffic problems? Or are we all just going to keep queuing for car parks until the end of time?